Hello, happy Monday. It's Monday, another week, another result. I'm joined by James. James is back and feeling better. How are you, James?
Yeah, not too bad yourself.
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good. So, yesterday's result, 1-0 loss against Brighton. I I know I put out a lot of tweets about it. I was not happy. I was angry. I was happy with our performance, but I was angry with the ref and just the fact that we were so close. Like I was upset for the players. You know what I mean? It I could go on a tangent right now. I'm really holding back, but I could just go on like this whole rant right now. It was just a really unfortunate and unlucky result. In my opinion, it felt like the Aston Villa game all over again. You know, we were so close to getting the points and then a free kick in the last minute. And looking back at that Aston Villa game, that was not a foul to award that free kick either. So the quality of the refs is just beyond me, but we're going to get into that. James, how are you feeling about yesterday? I'm probably the same as me, but
Yeah, I think first half they looked a bit shaky. It's probably getting to that stage now. We've not picked up a point, and they're worried about conceding. So they looked a bit. This was a shaky start. Second half, they were just probably one of the best I've seen them play in a long time. That second half. Um, no doubt we'll talk about the reffing at some point. Um, for me, we've discussed this before. Discussed at the Villa game. Um, what can you do? The refereeing I've seen this season in the WSL has been appalling. Um, Obviously, yesterday's free kick, I didn't think it was a free kick. Even in the Man City game, there was a stonewall penalty, maybe even a red. Ref just waves play on. It's just the refereeing is so inconsistent. And I know I've read a few things today that we should introduce VAR into the women's game, not until the governing bodies are sorted out. It's
Mhm.
pointless throwing that technology at the WSL if you're still going to get them refs at the back end of it managing it. So yeah, I don't want to go into a ref rant, but sorry.
It's so easy to just fall into one, especially after yesterday. I like if anyone was fouled to lead to that free kick, I feel like PBG was the one who was fouled. I don't think the Brighton player was, but I may have to watch again. Uh, I don't know. Um, yes, I have to point this out because the ref in that game was horrendous. I've seen like so many clips from the North London derby, and yes, I'm happy that Spurs like took some points off of Arsenal, but at the same time, it was just there should have been so much called in that game and it was just avoided. And I've seen so much about like, oh, these refs aren't paid the same as the men's. These refs are also probably working like other full time jobs and stuff like that. I understand that, I completely do, but I also feel as if that doesn't excuse the fact whether or not you know the rules properly. Like I think we just need to, if we want the women's game to continue growing and to continue improving, like you said, we need to get those proper like steps in order to get VAR if we want VAR or to just have that quality back up. It just doesn't it's not good. We're seeing it left, right, and center. We saw it in the Villa game, like you said, and we're seeing it in other games outside of our games. It just we were robbed yesterday. I'll say it. The ref took it straight out of our hands. Daylight robbery. I was so mad.
I'm gonna take the ref conversation out of this for a second. I felt that we should have scored at least two.
Mhm.
Um, and I think probably because we haven't been scoring, maybe the confidence was low. I think Gemma had a good chance, a header, which was saved by the goalkeeper. I thought she could have done a bit better with that. Um, but there were so many positives that I took out of the game going forward. And I know we said this last week, there's more and more positives coming out of this. It's getting
Mhm.
better and better. The formation seems to be a lot more solid. Last week, we didn't really see the link up play between the attack and the defence, and it put the defence on the back foot quite a bit. This
Yeah.
game, that link up play was there. Shannon was all over the place. She had a great game doing that link up play, and I thought we were a lot more fluid. We were distributing the ball with a lot more intensity.
Mhm.
And that second half was a joy to watch. It probably took me back to last season. They looked confident on the ball. They knew where everyone was. And I think it's just getting the right personnel into that. Natasha, when she comes on, is always going to be a threat.
Yeah.
Um, they always know what Natasha's going to do. She always goes for the shot.
Hmm.
I think if she could develop her game a bit more and unlock the outlets a bit more, she'd be one of the best strikers in that league. And that's coming. Her game's improved since last season, and I think she's going to get better. I think the team have got so much better over the last few weeks. Um, every single time they play, it just looks like the kind of team that gives me faith. I don't think, oh, we've got no points. What's the point in this? I think it's getting better and better. These are coming. These points are coming.
Hmm.
Um, hopefully, it'll be this Sunday against Everton to get some points on the board. And I don't want it to go to the Birmingham game and that just be our FA Cup final, just to be Birmingham. I think points are going to come slowly, but I think we're going to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, they keep saying the points are coming, and you can tell they're coming. They were so strong against Chelsea. They're strong against Spurs. They, I don't remember who did we play last in the WSL. Oh,
Man City.
City. I mean, City's a hard side. It's City. But yesterday, it was probably one of their best games they had. And I probably am biased, absolutely. But I think we were the better side yesterday. And I think we deserved the win. And I know that a lot of people of other clubs were agreeing with me when I was putting that out there. Like, it's, we were so good and we had so many chances. It's just unfortunate that we didn't take those chances. And was there a goal disallowed for us yesterday? I'm trying to remember. Yes, there was. I was like, am I getting it mixed up with another game? I've been watching too many games this week. I'm still recovering from the Canada game. But yeah, we had that goal disallowed. Um, it was just really unlucky for us. And it was the best that we've performed besides the Chelsea game. I still think the Chelsea game is the best we've ever played, but this season. But it's just, it was really unfortunate, and I had so many questions about yesterday's game. I asked the same question again about the City game: is why is Flint on the bench? We discussed it after the City game. Did she pick up a knock? Is there something that we don't know about? Probably, but she comes on and she's constantly this threat and she creates these opportunities. So I'm trying to understand why she's being put on the bench now. I was just surprised that we didn't see her selected yesterday, especially against a side like Brighton. And then I was even more surprised to see that we had four players on the bench. Like, I'm wondering, there must be something going on that we don't know about, or are we being hit with an injury crisis like all at once? Like, that's a lot of players to suddenly just disappear. Usually we have academy players come up and fill in that bench, or we have like, even Charlie wasn't on the bench. We didn't see pretty much everyone on the bench. So that concerns me. I don't know if we're resting a lot of players, but you can still rest players by putting them on the bench and having them as that option. So that freaked me out. I'm scared about that.
It's a tough one. Obviously, we've got three games in a week. There could be so many reasons why they could be rested, and they'll be in the Durham match. I think the Durham match is important, although it's a cup game and probably not a cup we could go on and win, but a good run in any cup does you good. And Durham, we played Durham last year. We know what Durham are like. Durham's probably a kind of game where we'd be looking to get goals,
Mm-hmm.
looking to win and boost that confidence. We all know once the confidence starts, then the confidence grows and grows, and I think it'll do them no end of good with them goals. So I'm not sure what it was. Is there an injury? There's been a few bugs going around in Leicester, stomach bugs, colds, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Have they just been rested? I don't know. Um, in the post match, Jonathan didn't really touch on it much. But hopefully in the press conferences this week, Owen from Radio Leicester does them, so he might pick up on what's happening. And I know that you're on with Owen tonight, so maybe you could ask him.
I won't bother for the inside info. Yeah, I'm hoping it's nothing too severe. Obviously, I'm hoping everyone's feeling okay. I know we have several injuries on the go right now, but it was just really weird seeing, last week we had, we had Connie Schofield back, we had Abby Grant back, and then all of a sudden we had no one. It
Yeah,
was just so sudden out of nowhere. So yeah, like you said, maybe Jonathan will touch on it in press conferences this week, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. It's hard to say, but well, we just have to wait and see. And we've got Durham on Wednesday, like you said, in the group stage. We could possibly see these players coming back. I'm curious as to if we're going to be seeing like a fairly different squad against Durham, if we're going to be using more of those academy players or whoever. So seeing the comments. Welcome to the women's show. Neil is not here. Neil will be on the men's show. Go check that one out. We all love Neil on this channel. I know how it is. Neil's a great guy. But it's a different show right now. But it's nice to have you in here. So welcome to the women's show if this is your first time. But yeah, Durham on Wednesday, which I keep saying, I think we're going to look at this game and this could be a huge confidence booster. It's a side that the club's familiar with, and they're kind of having some stuff in the championship right now. We saw them lose to Liverpool yesterday 2-0, but Durham are such a threat. I looked at them as a threat last season. I know all of us did because they're just so strong and they're so consistent this season in the championship as well. They're definitely fighting for that top spot. So I'm wondering if they're also going to come into this game and kind of just look at it as, oh, it's just another game. We're focusing on hopefully getting promoted this season over winning a cup, but it's definitely going to be good to see us playing against a familiar side because I think that's something that we need right now.
yeah, I think you're right. I think the first game when they played United, they gave it their all. I think they're taking it quite seriously. It's their probably kind of baseline of how they are against the WSL, and they're giving it their all, which fair play to them. I think it'll be a tough game for us. My one worry is that we know that last season Durham were quite physical,
Mm.
and I think they've got a artificial pitch from what I remember. Is that right?
I,
Yes.
I think so because I remember some of our injuries came from that Durham game.
Yeah,
They were throwing people around.
and that's probably one of my worries is we've got enough injuries. We can't afford to have any more injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for me, the league is just the important thing this season now. Nothing really else matters because we need to get them points in the league. So will Jonathan go? I understand it's Durham, but the league's the priority. Sunday's the priority, and maybe see some new faces or academy players coming in.
Yeah, definitely. I keep forgetting about Sunday. We got Everton again. It feels like we're just playing teams again and again and again. And this happened last season as well. We had it felt like we played London City like 4 times in a row with how often with cups and stuff. We had Man City and then now we had Man City again last week. I keep mixing up games. We had Man City again last week, and then we had Everton, and now we've got Everton again in the cup. It's constant. It's getting tiring, but just thinking about that Everton game. Everton were fairly strong against us, but I think Everton are also still in a bit of a flip floppy spot. So it's definitely a side that I think we can take advantage of considering how much more we've been performing lately.
Yeah,
So I keep saying every game's going to be interesting, but I think every game is going to be interesting because of how much we're changing over time. So it'll be good to watch. But I know you made like a graphic for the Brighton game that I know you're just itching to show because James is a tactical guy now. Just kind of going back to that game, and obviously we have to talk about that little blip that we had that led to us conceding in the very last minute. So James, if you want to pop that up there. Just kind of looking at this before we go into Everton and Durham. James, do you want to kind of just
yeah.
speak on
The
it?
kind of one thing I wanted to pick up on is the position there. So you've got 5 Brighton players in the area, and they're all at the back post. It's quite obvious what's going to happen. Our defence in a line as it should be. There's enough players in the box to man mark as well as provide cover for any run-ins. Brendan Rodgers might want to look at this because I don't like zonal marking, as you know, whereas this works well. So that's kind of how it's set up before the free kick. Now, I'm not going to say this is a fluke goal. I don't believe that she's meant this because everyone's running onto the back post. I think she's aimed for the back post, but then the bend has took it away from the back post and away from Kirsty and in. And I think looking at Kirsty's positioning, she's expecting to claim that before it hits that back post.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the way that's set up. And I think you can't do anything. You can't defend against that because it's a wonder goal.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the flight of the goal, the ball and it curls like that. Kirsty's in no man's land because she can't get to it because it's that high and got that much swerve on it. And as you see, if you see the game, you'll see the players are still running towards that back post and just watch it go in. So I think, yes, it was a horrible free kick. It should never have been given. I don't personally think anyone's to fault. I think it's just one of them goals. I still don't believe she meant it, but she'll say all day long that she meant it, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, if you put something in there like that, I'm sure you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I absolutely meant to do that." But I found like Kirsty's positioning was kind of weird. Um,
Yeah, and I
I'm not a
think
goalkeeper though, so I don't know how you would position yourself to prevent that.
if
But
you look at a lot of free kicks from that angle and range, they'll always try and whip it into the back post to get someone's head on it.
mhm.
Um, and obviously because of the swerve on it, it's just bypassed everyone and gone in. So I think Kirsty's expecting that at the back post and expecting to come out and punch it or even claim it.
Yeah.
And it's just done everyone. Looped over Kirsty's head into the top corner. You've got no chance getting near it because of
Well,
where
yeah,
she.
exactly.
And the thing as a goalkeeper, it's kind of one of them things because if you look at it as a free kick taker, you could whip that into the near post.
Mhm.
You've only got a two-man wall there.
There's so
Uh,
much you could do, and as a goalkeeper, you can't really predict where it's gonna go.
no, so looking at Kirsty's position, she's protecting the near post. If that gets whipped in, she can get to it, but also expecting a kind of charge from these five over here, and she can claim that as well. What she's not expecting is Simmons to bend that into the top corner above her head.
Yeah, exactly. It was just I'm still mad at the ref. If there's anyone to blame for that, it's the ref. The ref 100%. I've got one out for that ref. I'm sorry.
Hannah's annoyed.
You can't just do that. You can't just. We were so close to getting a point off of Brighton, a team that has been having like some insane season out of nowhere. They've just come up and surprised everyone. We were the better side, hands down, especially in that second half. First half, it was kind of flip floppy, a bit questionable, but that second half, we were easily the better side. And then they just come in, and the ref was like, "Oh, free kick," and that's what happens. So I would have been happy with 1 point. Absolutely 1 point. We would have gone above Brighton in the table. Brighton lost against Aston Villa yesterday.
I think you mean
And
Birmingham. Hey ho.
did I say Brighton? I meant Birmingham. Brighton's just sitting in my head clearly. We would have gone above Birmingham. We definitely wouldn't have gone above Brighton because I believe they're third. Um,
Yeah,
but we would have gone above Birmingham in the table. And, hopefully we can get something off of Everton. The players have been performing so well. It's just a matter of like really pushing and just creating these goal scoring opportunities and really pushing the opposition. I found we still kind of had those moments yesterday that we did in the City game where, we'd make it up there, but then we wouldn't have any support to kind of help put it in.
yeah,
And that's where I wonder, where is Tash sitting? Um, it's just weird, we're so used to Tash last season just taking these wicked shots from outside of the box, and there's no player that does it like her, in my opinion. I got into an argument with Chelsea fans a few weeks ago. They had me on their podcast, and they're saying, no one has a foot as strong as Millie Bright, and I had to challenge them and say, Tash Flint, she's got 2 feet that are just insane.
yeah.
So it's just so odd not seeing that this season, and obviously it's because the setup has changed. So I think that now we kind of just need to find what works to kind of help feed her into those areas to provide her with the chances to take these shots, because we've nailed the defending, in my opinion. Of course, there's moments where we concede, yes, but we're looking so much better than we did at the start of the season. And then, the midfield is kind of still in that area of what works for them and what doesn't. And I think not having Sophie Barker in that area is one of the huge things that comes from areas where we kind of see a bit of a struggle. But she's back now. I think she's still kind of recovering, so hopefully we see her again soon. But we just need to find what works. I'm not saying we need to build around Flint or accommodate Flint, but we need to find something that works for her to be able to take the shots that we've seen her take last season, because she was phenomenal. And I can see her doing it in the WSL as well. We saw her do it against Aston Villa. It can happen. So I just don't know what needs to be changed or what needs to be done to kind of make that happen. That's a good point. I never thought of this. We were robbed against Aston Villa by the ref in the exact same kit. So we're gonna have to boycott that kit. We play Everton next in the WSL on Sunday. But yeah, like I'm just really thinking about Flint and how good of a player she is and how she could really help take advantage of situations. But you have to kind of say part of that is due to the fact that we are missing Hannah Kane and Lashante Paul. Those are two critical players that play on that wing. And yes, we've got PBG, and PBG has been really improving since getting back from injury. And I think she was great yesterday. She had so many chances as well. But how are we going to make something work to implement Flint into the system? She's great at holding the ball. She's great at taking the ball. She's great at kind of defending when she needs to defend. She's great at making runs and creating chances. So I had something I was going to say with everywhere I'm going with this, and I completely forgot what it was. But yeah, I just think that I miss her is what I'm getting at.
I think personally, start of the season we played with them both up front. I don't think it worked it worked quite well against Villa. I think everyone else it didn't work well at all. I think Sigsworth and Flint are a lot like the same player, although they've got different attributes to kind of play that same position. So for me, it makes it. I don't think playing them both together works. I think one or the other. I'd like to see Flint start and maybe bring Sigsworth on at 60 minutes to run at him because she just doesn't start running. But I know that Sigsworth does a lot of backtracking as well, so they might miss that. I think for me, as you said, losing Kane is a huge blow. She was that link-up play with that pace that we saw early on in the season. She was immense against Villa. So was Shannon. They were both immense and played well together. That's probably what we are missing, and their link-up play is great. And I think we've lost Kane. How do you solve a problem like Kane? Make a TV show. I don't know, if I'm honest. Tasha's got that pace as well. Maybe Tasha could be that link-up person because she has got that pace. Or maybe even Sigmas because she's got that pace and she'll run forever. It's one of them difficult decisions. What do you do? Maybe use the Durham match to look at that. I would say sometimes teams have behind closed door friendlies. Last time I did that, Kane got injured. So they are trying different things. It's just difficult of what works on the day and for the team. I think Everton, you're probably going to stick with the same formation and team that you started with against Brighton because it worked well. But I agree with what you're saying. How do you get Flint into that kind of up front and scoring goals? Because once she scores one, she'll score a lot of goals.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a transition from last season. Obviously, it's a completely different league with completely different opposition. Things are going to be different, but I just want to see if we can set up those areas. And like you said, Hannah Kane being gone is huge for us, and it's even bigger when we've also got Lashante Paul gone, and that's I found that's kind of forced Esme to play a bit of more of a winger role. And I feel like yesterday Esme was like our striker a lot of times, you know. She would be super high up and it like Sigsworth would be way back. So obviously that's something that they've kind of worked on together, but I was like, that's weird because last season Esme was more of a defensive role, and now she's completely changed. And I know that she's playing in more of her natural position now, and we've seen that she has a foot on her as well, so she could definitely be up there scoring goals. But I think the point I was thinking of was someone tweeted me yesterday saying that Tash should be in the box for corners and she's always sitting outside the box. I think she's a lot stronger outside of the box because of the shot that she has. You know, if that corner deflects and it kind of lands out to her, she can just have it. And we saw that a lot last season. And, you know, we see, I know Tierney was brought into the conversation of why is Tierney in the box, but she's proven to be so strong in that spot as well. We saw her put 2 critical goals in against Durham last season in that exact position off of corners. So I think that those are the good spots for these players. Having Tash out there to just kind of slam it in is always a good option. And I mean, sure, she's tall, but not every striker is good at heading it into the box. We see that with Vardy, in my opinion. He does not score headers. So we could see that with Tash as well. And I don't even remember the last time you've seen her score off of a header or a header from a corner. She's always been taking it from outside of the box with her feet, which is what she's really good at. So it's weird seeing how much formations and positioning has changed. Um,
Yeah, I think.
We'll soon see what we see against Durham, whether or not we go with the same position or if roles are going to be changed up again.
Yeah, I think coaching wise, the most important thing is a corner. If it gets headed, is to win that next ball, and that's what Tash is there for, to pick up
Mm-hmm.
the scrap on the edge of the box. Tash has got a good mind for it and vision as well. She can pass it wide, get the ball back in, or even we know what kind of shot she's got. She can shoot. That's an ideal position for her. She picks up the scraps and feeds off it, and she does well with that. Same with Sam. Any ball that gets dropped in that 6 yard box, she'll be on it like a whippet and scoring. That's what she
Yeah.
did against Durham. She can do that. She's got also good vision. She knows where the ball's going. So she might not be the tallest one in the team, but she'll know as soon as it hits that deck, she'll be there, either tackling or trying to get the goal in. So I think they're probably the right positions for me. I think Wednesday night, I'm not sure what formation they'll play. I think Sunday's more important. Sunday, same team as yesterday. Let's go out there and let's take it to Everton. Let's not hold back. Let's not be defensive. Yes, it's getting towards that stage now where every game's an FA Cup final. We know that, but let's go out there and try and get a few goals. I think you score one, you score two, confidence will start getting high, and then we'll start to dominate that match. It's just how do you get them the first few goals? And I think you just need a solid start. Don't concede early on. We all know all this. But I hope on Sunday that's going to be our turning point. I said that last time, but hopefully this time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna put this question up. Where is Connie Schofield? We started the show off by saying, "Where's everyone?" You know, where's all of the players? They just suddenly disappeared. I think with Schofield's case, I think she's still kind of coming back from that long-term injury. So I don't think she's a player that we're going to be seeing right away. We did see her on the bench. It was against City, I believe. So obviously she's kind of coming back. You can make the same case for Abby Grant. You know, two players that have been dealing with injury that are just kind of coming back. I think it's going to be a bit before we actually see them. But like I said before, where's everyone? Where was Zajmi? Like she was suddenly not on the bench either. Like where was Camwell? Where was Smith? Where was like everyone? They were all just suddenly gone. So yeah, it's like we keep saying we're gonna have to wait to see if they show up against Durham again. It could be illness, it could be injury, it could be something else we don't know about. We have no idea. Um, but yeah, well, even Sunday, it's still a ways away. Things could change by then. We could hopefully see them back then. But we're all wondering where it was just like everyone disappeared. Like it was just sudden. Nothing was said about it. Not like going into the game, Jonathan didn't say anything. After the game, Jonathan didn't say anything. It's like they just disappeared in thin air. Like suddenly these players are gone. But it'll be interesting to see if we see any of these new signings who we haven't seen take the pitch yet come in on Wednesday. Just if Jonathan is kind of looking at it like, this is a chance to give some other players some game time. I'd love to see Zajmi play. She's got Champions League under her belt. She's got league titles under her belt. It'd be really good to see her come in on Wednesday, and I'd love to, but like I said, we don't know who these players are. So we might not see them on Wednesday.
I think it's good that your pronunciations have got better as well.
For what? What?
All of the players.
Oh, there was one player name that I butchered, and it was Broom, but that was because I genuinely had no idea how to say her name, and I know that commentators don't either because we keep hearing Broomin, so yeah. It's not just me, but
I had Brewcam the other day as well. That was a funny one.
It's brutal. I think the league has a lot of fixing to do. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm just curious, who stood out for you against Brighton?
I think Shannon. I was quite surprised when she came off. I thought she was having a really, really good game, and I just thought to myself, I'm not sure why she's coming off. I think for me, again, defence was immense. Ash as usual, Kirsty as usual. Although I know that you think Kirsty made one big error and they scored.
I didn't say that. No. If there's anyone who will defend Kirsty, is me. Like, she could be out in the middle of the pitch and I'd still be defending her. For me personally, I think Tash really stood out when she came on. She made that huge impact. But like we keep saying, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of happening with changes right now. So obviously we're in a little bit of a transitional phase, figuring out who works best in what spot, who works best in general. And so we just have to wait and see what happens from here on. We saw the formation changing so much. Yesterday, the formation was different as well. We played a 4-4-1. No, that's not, my math is off. We had 4 midfielders and 4 defenders. I believe.
4-4-1.
Sorry?
4-4-1-1.
Is that what it was?
I give you 10. Yeah.
I don't remember. The club put out a graphic, and I'm trying to visualize it, and I clearly am forgetting a player in there. But
on the graphic, I think it was the 3-4-3.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, that was on the graphic, because it's played up with 6 up front, 2 what I'd call wing backs, 4 across the middle, and 3 at the back.
Mm-hmm. We're just changing everything. We started the season with 3 at the back.
Yeah.
And we've seen 5 at the back, and now we're seeing 4 at the back. So who knows what is going to be on Wednesday, because it's completely different opposition. So do you have any final thoughts before we kind of wrap things up?
No, we've got a special announcement coming out this week, hopefully, which may include a player. Ooh.
It may, yeah. I'll put this up here. Yes, that's a good thing that Birmingham lost. I think we were all kind of watching that result. As much as I dislike Birmingham and Villa, it's good that Birmingham was the side to lose, because we're going to be able to kind of claim some points off of them. Former Foxes, Millie Farrow scored for Crystal Palace, which I thought was awesome. She seems to be doing really well at Crystal Palace. I think a lot of our players that have kind of gone off to other clubs from last season are doing really well, so that's great to see. But yeah, Birmingham losing, that definitely helps us. I think they're still sitting at 1 point on the table. If we do get a point, we should go above them. Obviously, it depends on the goal diff on Sunday. But the points are coming. They're coming. So I think that's about it. If anyone wants to throw any last comments in, we're probably going to wrap things up now. Really good performance against Brighton. It's just up from here, in my opinion. We were great against Chelsea. We're even better against Brighton. So the points are coming. That's all I can say.
Yes, they are.
That's what the players are saying, the staff are saying, they're coming. So yeah. That's that. I'll do my little plugs that I do. If anyone wants to throw anything else in the comments. And shout out to everyone who attended the game and made the trip. I know Joe was there from the supporters club. That's awesome. So yeah, props to you guys. Speaking of the supporters club, join the supporters club. We've got a lot of fun stuff happening. Memphis is where all the fun is this week. So keep an eye out for them. We've got a big announcement coming out. I'm really excited about this, and I think you guys should be as well. And like James said, we've got someone special involved, someone who we love dearly. She's awesome. And then check out all of her Game 2's socials for all the stuff that they're doing. And yeah, that's that. Thank you, everyone who joined us. Give us a like, subscribe. I would appreciate it. Neil's awesome. I know someone came here for Neil. He puts a lot of work into the channel as well. I'm sure he'd appreciate a like and subscribe. And James puts a lot of work into things too. So props to those guys. And thank you, everyone, again for joining us. James, anything else?
No, looking forward to the games this week. Sunday, I'm there with the supporters club. So if you see us, come say hi. Joe's apparently going to sing a few songs, try and get the crowd going. So I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll see everyone Sunday, and thank you so much for tuning in.